What if all volcanoes erupted at the same time? It starts quietly, almost deceptively, a faint vibration under your feet, like the earth sighing after centuries of silence. At first you brush it off. Maybe construction, maybe an earthquake, brief and harmless. But then, it doesn't stop. It deepens, grows stronger, like a heartbeat pulsing beneath the ground. Reports begin to pour in from every corner of the world. Mount Etna in Italy spews ash thousands of meters high. Mount Fuji's perfect cone glows red, trembling as molten rock bursts from its heart. Iceland's icy plains split open with rivers of fire, while Indonesia's volcanic chain roars to life. From Hawaii to Chile, from Alaska to the Philippines, every volcano on Earth awakens in unison. Within minutes, nearly 1,500 active volcanoes begin to erupt together, shaking continents and boiling oceans. The planet trembles like a living creature in pain, its core releasing centuries of built-up pressure. Mountains roar, skies bleed red, and the air itself turns to fire. It's as if the Earth, tired of holding it all in, has decided to take one final, furious breath. Ash rains from the heavens, rivers of lava carve through the land, and the smell of sulfur fills every breath. Civilization watches in disbelief as nature reclaims its power. And this is how the world as we know it begins to end. Let's find out what would happen if every volcano on Earth erupted at the same time. The first hours, fire and ash. The first thing you'd see is the sky turning black. Massive plumes of smoke and ash rise tens of kilometers into the atmosphere. Within an hour, the sun is gone, hidden behind a curtain of volcanic clouds stretching across continents. Lava flows carve through cities, entire forests ignite, airports shut down, communications collapse, and panic spreads faster than the fire itself. Supervolcanoes like Yellowstone, Toba, and Campi Flegrei explode with unimaginable force, ejecting thousands of cubic kilometers of ash and molten rock. Each one is powerful enough to darken skies for years. And now they're all erupting at once. Volcanic lightning flashes across black clouds. Sulfur and ash choke the air. People try to flee, but there's nowhere to go. Ash covers roads, collapses roofs, and poisons the air you breathe. In less than a day, most of humanity is trapped under a sky that no longer lets the sun through. The sound of the end. Then comes the sound. A deafening roar. Constant, unrelenting. It's not just one explosion, but thousands, echoing across oceans. The loudest eruptions, like Krakatoa in 1883, were heard thousands of miles away. Now imagine every volcano erupting together, a planet-wide explosion so powerful it shatters eardrums and vibrates through bone. Shockwaves ripple across the globe. Buildings crumble, windows shatter in countries far from any volcano. The oceans themselves begin to shake, creating mega-tsunamis that wipe out coastal cities. No corner of Earth is silent. It's as if the planet is screaming, and the sound is the last thing billions ever hear. Sky of ash. Within days, the entire sky is buried under a choking layer of volcanic dust and ash. Fine particles fill the upper atmosphere, blocking sunlight almost completely. Temperatures drop instantly. Daylight turns to twilight. You could stand at noon and still see stars above the smoke. Airplanes can't fly. Their engines would choke on the ash. Radio signals fail. GPS dies. Ash mixed with rain turns into acid rain, corroding metal and burning skin. Breathing without protection becomes almost impossible as microscopic shards of volcanic glass fill the air. The world enters what scientists call a volcanic winter. But this time, it's not a regional event. It's global. The planet has turned against itself. The volcanic winter. Now the real nightmare begins. As volcanic ash blocks sunlight, the global temperature plummets by 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. Summer vanishes. Snow begins to fall in the tropics. The equator freezes, while the poles become barren wastelands of black ice. Crops fail everywhere. Photosynthesis stops. Plants die. Famine spreads across every continent. Livestock perish. Wild animals vanish. Within months, the food chain collapses. Humans fight for survival, scavenging whatever canned food and clean water they can find. But as volcanic gases mix with the atmosphere, toxic smog covers the planet. Sulfur dioxide reacts with water vapor, forming a deadly acidic fog that eats through stone, metal, and flesh. Civilization, as we know it, is gone. Not with a bang, but with a suffocating, ashen whisper. A year of darkness. 1 year later, the sun still hasn't returned. The Earth is now locked in an endless dusk. Global temperatures have dropped below freezing almost everywhere. Oceans near the surface freeze over. Rain has become black with soot. The remaining survivors, scattered in underground bunkers and isolated shelters, rely on stored power and filtered air. Governments no longer exist. Nations are gone. The planet has become silent, except for the occasional thunder of volcanoes still spitting ash into a dying sky. Satellite images show what looks like a second night side of Earth, a black marble covered in ash instead of light. The year without a summer, caused by a single eruption of Mount Tambora in 1815, reduced sunlight by only 1%. Now the reduction is closer to 80%. Almost all surface vegetation is dead. The planet is dying, slowly, painfully, beautifully. The collapse of the oceans. The ocean, once a cradle of life, now turns against it. Volcanic ash settles into the seas, making them acidic. Sunlight no longer reaches the depths. Phytoplankton, the foundation of the marine food chain, dies off almost entirely. With no oxygen produced by oceanic photosynthesis, even the air begins to thin. Fish and mammals suffocate in the dark water. Coral reefs, already fragile, dissolve into pale dust. Tsunamis reshaped coastlines, but now silence replaces the waves. The seas turn black, thick with ash and death. It's a scene the planet hasn't witnessed in over 250 million years. Not since the Permian extinction, when volcanic eruptions wiped out 90% of life on Earth. History, it seems, is repeating itself. The age of ash and ice. Decades pass. The fires have gone out. The ash has settled, but the damage is done. A thick, gray blanket covers continents. Volcanic glass glitters under a dim, cold sky. Glaciers spread where forests once stood. Only a few human enclaves survive, deep underground, near geothermal vents that provide heat and power. They call it the Age of Ash. But even here, life struggles. Resources dwindle. Children are born never knowing what sunlight feels like. The myths of the old world, blue skies, green fields, and stars, sound like fairy tales. Yet deep beneath the frozen surface, something stirs. Life always finds a way. The rebirth of Earth. Centuries later, the volcanoes fall silent. The ash begins to settle into the soil. The atmosphere clears, slowly, painfully. Sunlight returns, faint and cold at first, then brighter. The surviving humans emerge from their shelters to find a changed world. Mountains have been reshaped, continents scarred, but beneath the ruins, life is reborn. Volcanic soil, rich in minerals, begins to nourish new plants. Green shoots emerge from the gray wasteland. Animals evolve to survive the new climate. And eventually, humans rebuild. Civilization rises again, smaller, wiser, quieter. They tell stories of the time when the earth screamed fire, and how somehow humanity survived its mother's wrath. The planet breathes again, slower, gentler, and once more, balance returns. The lesson of fire. So what if all the volcanoes on Earth erupted at the same time? At first, there would be chaos, fire, death, and destruction. Then silence, the long winter of ash and ice. But eventually, renewal. Volcanoes destroy, yes, but they also create. They build islands, form mountains, and give birth to fertile lands. Without them, there would be no continents, no atmosphere, no life. Maybe that's the paradox of existence itself. Creation born from destruction. The same fire that ends life also gives it a new beginning. The Earth, after all, isn't fragile. It's alive, breathing, burning, evolving, and perhaps we're just part of its endless cycle of death and rebirth. So next time you see smoke rising from a distant volcano, don't just see danger. See the pulse of the planet, the reminder that beneath your feet, the Earth is still alive. If this story made you realize how small we truly are compared to the power of nature, don't forget to hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Untold What If for more mind-bending journeys like this one. Because here, imagination meets science, and every adventure begins with two simple words: what if?